Remember that kid in high school who barely managed to pass a single class? The guy who spent every exam trying to cheat off your paper, who was a total joke to the teachers, and who seemed to have absolutely zero future? Yeah, that guy. I ran into his Instagram the other day, and guess what? He just bought his second Porsche. He's 24, running some automated business from a beach, and making more money in a Tuesday afternoon than most corporate managers see in a year. And then there's you. Let's be completely real. You did everything exactly the way you were supposed to. You studied until 3 a.m., graduated with honors, and secured a respectable corporate job. You put in 10 brutal hours a day at your desk. Yet, here you are, living paycheck to paycheck, praying your car's transmission survives until next month because a sudden $4,000 repair bill would completely ruin your entire life. It feels like a burning insult to your intelligence, doesn't it? You were the smart kid. You followed every single rule in the script. So how did the dropouts end up winning the economic game, while the hardworking kids got left behind to fight over corporate crumbs? The hard truth is that in 2026, traditional hard work is no longer a ladder to success. It's a modern, beautifully designed trap, an endless hamster wheel built to keep you just comfortable enough so you don't quit, but never wealthy enough to actually escape. The game is rigged against the rule followers. Let's talk about how they trapped us and how we actually break out. The curse of the straight A student. To understand why this happens, we have to look at what I call the curse of the straight A student. This trap was programmed into your brain at 6 years old. Traditional school wasn't built to make you wealthy. It was designed to create compliant cogs for the corporate machine. It taught you a simple rule: sit quiet, follow instructions, finish the worksheet, and you'll get a gold star. We were trained to believe a toxic lie, that your productivity equals your value as a human being. But while the future middle class was busy pleasing teachers, the D students were learning how the real world actually works. Because they wouldn't follow the rigid rules, they had to adapt. They learned how to manage risks, how to negotiate, and how to creatively hack the system just to survive. While the straight A students practiced obedience, the underachievers practiced leverage. They realized early on that waiting for someone to hand you a reward is a fool's game. Fast forward to adulthood, and big corporations absolutely love those former straight A students. You carry that childhood need for validation straight into the office. When your manager gives you a mountain of extra work, your instinct isn't to demand a massive raise, it's to put your head down and work late just to be seen as a reliable team player. Corporations weaponize this conditioning. They give you a fancy new title, a cheap branded hoodie, or a Friday pizza party instead of actual financial freedom. You become a self-charging battery plugged into their matrix, trading your youth for a fixed salary, while your underachieving classmates exploit the new rules of the economy. Peer pressure and the middle class illusion. Now let's talk about the psychological engine that keeps this machine running. We live in an era where social media has transformed peer comparison into a 24/7 torture chamber. Every time you open Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, you are bombarded by a hyper-polished parade of your peers living their best lives. You see that same underachieving classmate next to a shiny new sports car, and your brain instantly short circuits. You start asking yourself, why am I the one eating microwave ramen while they fly business class? This social shame triggers a devastating behavioral pattern I call the fake rich loop. It is a financial death spiral designed specifically to drain the bank accounts of the modern middle class. Instead of realizing the system is broken, we desperately try to buy our way into looking successful. You see your old high school buddy get a luxury vehicle, so you sign a predatory, high-interest lease on a brand new BMW you cannot afford. You buy designer clothes and fund premium vacations using modern microdebt platforms like Klarna or Afterpay. Think about how insidious this is. Fintech companies have gamified debt, rebranding high-interest credit as buy now, pay later. Suddenly, your entire existence is chopped up into tiny biweekly installments. You tell yourself you're doing fine because you can cover the minimums, but you are completely bleeding out from 1,000 financial paper cuts. 100% of your heavy labor is funneled directly into servicing the interest on debts you took out just to buy an illusion of status. You work yourself to the bone just to maintain a golden cage that could collapse at any second. Middle class math, the rigged treadmill. Let's look at the actual mathematics because this is where the middle class fairy tale completely implodes. Let's say you're doing everything right. You get a solid job, and your boss gives you a 5% raise. In the 90s, that was a massive win. Today, it's just a polite way of telling you that you're losing money. While your salary creeps up by 5%, your rent just jumped by 12%. Groceries went up by 15%, meaning your favorite iced coffee just became a luxury item. Gas, electricity, health insurance, everything is skyrocketing. Do the real math. If your income grows at 5%, but your cost of living moves like a Tesla in ludicrous mode, you are technically getting poorer every single year. You are literally bleeding cash just to stay in the exact same place. Now, remember that underachieving classmate of yours on Instagram? The one driving the shiny Porsche? Sure, he might be drowning in debt up to his eyeballs just to keep up appearances, but focusing on whether his lifestyle is fake or real is missing the point. The real danger is that you are playing a game where traditional hard work actively punishes your purchasing power. This is what economists call the treadmill trap. Imagine you're at a full, exhausting sprint on a treadmill, sweat pouring down your face. But if you look around, you haven't moved a single inch forward. That is the modern middle class. You are exactly one corporate layoff or one rent hike away from absolute financial ruin. You cannot out-earn systemic inflation by just working an extra hour of overtime. If you keep trading your finite hours for depreciating currency, you are running into the ground while the machine reaps all the rewards. If you're tired of the corporate matrix and actually want to figure out this economic mess together, just hit subscribe. Sweat economy versus leverage economy. Now we need to transition into the core of the problem, because this is where the mystery of your wealthy classmate finally gets solved. See, the biggest mistake the smart kids make is assuming that wealth is a direct reward for effort. You look at that guy driving his Porsche and you think, there's no way he outworked me. And you are right. He didn't. He won because he understood that the economic landscape has been completely flipped. While you were building a career in the sweat economy, he was quietly building a life in the leverage economy. The sweat economy is the traditional world of trading your finite time for a fixed paycheck. If you want to make more money, your only option is to work more hours. But here's the fatal flaw: time is finite. Your earning potential is naturally capped by physics. And to make matters worse, in 2026, pure unadulterated sweat equity has dropped to absolute zero in market value thanks to artificial intelligence and hyper-automation. Any task that requires monotonous mental labor is currently being done by an AI agent for pennies. The people getting unbelievably rich today, the ones like your underachieving classmate, are the ones who understand leverage. In the modern world, leverage means owning assets that decouple your income from your physical time. It means owning code, owning media, owning digital distribution, or building automated business systems that operate 24/7 while you are asleep. Your classmate created a digital engine. He set up automated systems that handle the heavy lifting, allowing him to generate 10 times the revenue of a corporate manager while working only a fraction of the time. The system wants you to keep respecting the old corporate grind because a compliant, hardworking middle class is what keeps their machine running. But while you are out there meticulously selling your precious finite hours, the people who own the leverage are buying those hours from you at a massive discount. You cannot build real wealth by being a human cog in someone else's automated factory. You have to stop focusing on working harder within a broken script and start focusing on building assets that work for you. It's time to stop selling the clock and start owning the wheel. Reversing the script, step-by-step blueprint. So, I know all of this sounds pretty dark, and I'm definitely not trying to leave you guys in a state of absolute existential depression. I'm not here just to complain about how broken the system is or to make you feel bad about your old classmates' Instagram feed. We are here to completely rewrite the rules of engagement. If the game is rigged against the hardworking rule followers, you stop playing by their rules and you start playing by your own. Here is the exact step-by-step blueprint to flip the script, reclaim your sanity, and actually build real financial freedom in 2026. Step number 1 is taking quiet quitting to the absolute maximum. Look, the corporate world has been quiet firing people for decades through tiny raises and massive workloads. It's time to return the favor. From this moment on, your new mantra is simple. You perform exactly what is written in your contract and not a single micro task more. If they pay you for 8 hours, you close your laptop at the exact second that 8th hour ends. Stop volunteering for extra projects, stop trying to overachieve just for a pat on the back, and stop sacrificing your mental peace. You need to aggressively protect and conserve your mental energy. Which brings us to step number 2, building your personal digital leverage. Instead of investing your precious free time, your evenings, and your weekends into helping your boss buy another luxury vehicle, you start investing that energy entirely into yourself. You begin building your own digital micro business, your own content channel, or your own personal brand. This isn't about working a second exhausting shift at another job. It's about creating digital assets that you actually own. Even if it's just 2 hours a day after work, that is time dedicated to building a financial foundation that nobody can suddenly take away from you. Step number 3 is the ultimate cheat code: hyper delegation through artificial intelligence. We are living in an era where a single person with an internet connection and the right AI tools can literally outproduce an entire traditional corporate department. Stop doing manual, repetitive tasks that drain your brain power. Use the technology available right now to automate your current job to become hyper efficient, giving you hours of free time back during the day. Then, use those same AI systems to accelerate your personal side projects. Let the machines do the heavy lifting while you focus entirely on strategy, scale, and high level creativity. Your ultimate goal in life should never be to become the absolute best, most compliant slave in the corporate matrix. Your goal is to become the undisputed owner of your own time. Time is the only non renewable asset you will ever have. It's time to take it back. Your next alarm clock. We've covered a lot of ground today, and honestly, it's a lot to process. But I don't want you to just close this tab, open up another video, and immediately forget everything we just talked about. I want this to actually sink in. The system relies entirely on your short memory. It relies on the fact that you will get angry for a few minutes and then just go right back to the routine because it's easier than trying to change things. They count on your exhaustion to keep you compliant and quiet. But you have a real choice now. You can keep buying into the 20th century fairy tale, keeping your head down, working yourself to the bone, and hoping that somehow magically the economy will fix itself and finally reward your loyalty. Or you can finally accept the reality of 2026. You can start protecting your energy, building your own leverage, and treating your finite time like the priceless, irreplaceable asset that it actually is. Nobody is coming to save you. No politician, no corporation, and certainly not your company's manager. Your freedom is entirely up to you. So let's bring this all down to earth. Tomorrow is Monday, or maybe it's just another long, exhausting week ahead of you. When that alarm clock inevitably goes off in the morning and you reach out to hit the snooze button, I want you to take a single, quiet second to just look up at your ceiling. Before you get out of bed, before you open your laptop, and before you drag yourself into the office, I want you to ask yourself one very simple, very uncomfortable question. Is the work you are about to do today going to make you richer, or is it just going to make your boss richer? And more importantly, is it ever going to turn you into that successful high school classmate? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks for hanging out. Stay safe, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next video.